Hey, what's going on, everybody? Max here with BB, and today for 10 Minutes Max, we're going to be talking about Andy and Wolf, two of my favorite projects, and why they should be two of your favorite projects as well. And in my personal view, which I will, of course, back up with concrete evidence and data, two of the best meme coins to ever exist in the history of crypto, and two that, in my opinion, you cannot afford to miss out on this cycle. So let's not waste any time. We are going to start with a little bit of a comprehensive rundown just for those of you that are new here. I get a lot of requests from people saying, hey, I need a video that I can send that covers everything Pepe, Andy, and Wolf so that I can share it with people in my life. Which one is the best? Well, this is the video for you guys. So we're going to start off with a question. So, you like Pepe? Well, I got two coins that you cannot afford to miss out on, and a lot of you, of course, are already pretty familiar. But again, we are going to start from a technical perspective right on first base, okay? So up top here, we have Pepe OX69. And again, for those that don't know what that is, the first part of the Pepe contract on Ethereum starts with 0x69. Over here, right in the middle, we have Andy, OX68, and of course, you keep your friends close. The first part of Andy's contract starts with 0x68. And then, last but certainly not least, we have Wolf, 0x67. Keep your friends and your friends of friends. Keep all of your friends nice and close. Wolf starts with 0x67. What a narrative, right? Now, that's all fine and dandy. That's nice and cute. Let's get into the hardcore technicals of why I care so much about these two projects. So everybody's bullish on Pepe right now, as of course you should be. We were accumulating aggressively in here and also in here, and it's looking very, very good. But if you feel like you missed out on Pepe, let's talk about Andy and Wolf and why you should potentially be interested. So let's take some measured moves here. On this last Pepe pump from this low, so we're going to just kind of view this as like one big rally. On like the most recent big Pepe rally, and these charts don't go back further because they're both new meme coin projects, Andy and Wolf. On this last Pepe pump, it went up 254%. Okay. Andy, during that same stretch of time when it pumped, let's fit it on there, went up almost 700%. And Wolf was just a little baby at the time. It was like a 2 mil market cap where Andy was like 50 mil and Pepe was like, in the billions, right? Wolf went up 20,000%. Now, I'm not expecting the same type of giant gap between the performance and all these three because, again, Wolf was just a baby over here, so it gets a little skewed. But nonetheless, the point remains and holds true. All right, now let's do another one here. And we will go currently from the low of the bear market, not even bear market, like a recent local bear market capitulation, all right, to the top of this move. Pepe went up 300%, and it got a Coinbase listing, gave it a little extra juice. Andy went up almost 500%. And Wolf went up 1,000%. Now, you're looking at this and you're going, wow, okay, that's cool. Like, there's all these percentages on the chart. I'm looking at three different coins. Why should I care about this? Well, what you need to understand is that going back from like the memetics of it, right? Pepe originated in a comic book called The Boys Club. All right. There were four main characters: Pepe, Andy, Wolf, and Brett. We're talking about three of the four today, the three on ETH. Okay. Now, why are Andy and Wolf getting bid? Well, it's because there's this whole narrative around the comic book, The Boys Club, right? The four main characters. So Pepe is setting the stage, ripping. I mean, it's the best performing meme in large cap this entire cycle. And as a result, Andy and Wolf are getting bid as well. Andy is a smaller market cap than Pepe, and Wolf is a smaller cap than both Pepe and Andy. And we've coined this as the beta train, okay? So Pepe is your alpha, it's your king, And then it goes down the chain, right? Andy's smaller, so it pumps harder than Pepe. And Wolf pumps harder than Andy, which pumps, harder than Pepe. So it's like you got to understand, like, the largest one up top will pump the smallest amount, and then each preceding one should, in theory, pump more than the one that's immediately next to it in terms of like largest to smallest, right? So, what's even more profound about these charts, right? And I'm going to give a few more examples here, is that they pump at the exact same time and they dump at the exact same time, right? You can see that Pepe pumps, then Andy, then Wolf, right? Pepe, Andy, Wolf. Pepe pumps the least, Wolf pumps the most, right? But of course, there's more risk going both ways, right? You could size into Wolf and get the most gains at this point. But additionally, it comes with a lot of volatility that some people can't stomach. And let me show you, because again, we have to be fair and discuss both up and down. On this drawdown right here, and we'll put it in red, Pepe pulled back 64, almost 65%. Andy pulled back 84. And Wolf, oops. And Wolf, if I can get my mouse to work, excuse me. And Wolf pulled back 87, right? And this is on a line chart. There were actually some wicks and stuff like that, so it was a little bit different, right? Like you can see there was actually a wick that went up to here, right? And Andy had a wick too, but nonetheless, you understand what I'm trying to point out is that the beta train to its alpha being Pepe works both ways, right? When it pumps a lot harder. When it dumps a lot harder, right? So understanding at its core how these things are moving and why they're moving is pertinent to being able to invest in them. You can't just buy something and be like, well, I saw it on Twitter. No, no, no. That's all great, but you need to be able to verify it with data. And that's what we're hoping to accomplish here. So here's the quick rundown just for those of you guys that are beginning. Now, we're going to get into the juicy stuff here. Okay. We need to go through specifically Andy and Wolf and mark out where they could potentially go, why they're going to potentially go there, and really kind of pair trade them against their alpha, right? Because my philosophy on meme coins is the following. If your beta is not consistently outperforming when it should be, it's not consistently outperforming your alpha, then just hold the alpha. Why would you hold Andy if it's not going to outperform Pepe? Why would you hold Wolf if it's not going to outperform Andy and Pepe? If they're not going to, then just hold Pepe. It's safer. It's a $10 billion meme with hundreds of thousands of holders and super deep liquidity and exchange listings, the whole thing. So you should only ever hold a beta, being Andy and Wolf, if it's going to outperform consistently when it should under the right conditions, it's alpha. So now comes the really important stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to put the candles back on the chart. Okay, here's Pepe looking pretty good. What we're going to do is we're going to pull up Andy and just look at it right now on the USD pair. And then we're going to put Andy USD here. So just what is Andy valued at, per dollar. And then we're going to compare it against ETH, and we're going to compare it against Pepe to make sure that we really should hold it, and then potentially have some fun and prospect out where this thing could go. All right, this is the important part of the video. This is where the people that clicked on it and watched a few minutes of it, they're going to miss out. This is the meat and potatoes. All right, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to give it all away here today. Sometimes I don't like to do that. I like to let people kind of figure things out for themselves, get them on the right track. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to start cooking, and we're going to deliver a 5-course meal here. All right. So we're going to put the chart in log mode and potentially prospect out where Andy is going to go. So for one, it looks ready to go. I mean, it marked up here, and it has been just basing and ranging and getting ready for the next level. Now, we're going to potentially prospect out where we're going to go here. All right. Some of these charts are familiar for you guys, but again, we are going to be thorough. We are going to cover everything. All right. So here are my preliminary targets. Here's one set of preliminary targets that I have right here for Andy. Okay. What you'll notice here is this was our first range. Okay. The coolest part about this is how Andy keeps doing the same thing over and over and over again. So focus your attention to this first range in the bottom left. We had range high, we had range low, and of course we had our mid range, which again, you can see perfect interaction, valid confirmed range. We broke out of this range and had a brief 2 or 3 day pause right here at the 1.618. This is always for me a preliminary first target. When you break out of a range, you target the 1.618, and we targeted it and we hit it and then we smashed through it. And while we smashed through it, we formed another range here. So again, we didn't quite hit the 2.618, but we have it marked here in red. Okay. But we formed another range. So range high, number 2, range low, number 2, and then again, confirmed mid-range. And what do you notice about the current all-time high here? The 2.618 from our very first range is at the exact same level within reason as our 1.618 of our second range, which is at 300 million. And notice where our current all-time high is. The fib confluence, the 2.618 of our first range and the 1.618 of our second range has marked so far the all-time high for Andy. It's not a coincidence. It's Fibonacci. It works. Now, what are we doing right now? And where are we going next? Well, similarly to what happened with our first range, where our 2.618 was perfectly aligned with our 1.618 of the second range, we now have formed another giant mega range. And I will mention this. The old cliche expression in crypto, the longer the base, the higher into space, is likely going to hold true this time around. We have range high, we have range low, we have a nice confirmed mid-range, lots of interaction, right? And wouldn't you notice the 2.618 of our second range is exactly at the 1.618 of our third range. Interesting. What a coincidence. So this level right here marked out with this green box, which again is our next level of fib confluence, is at 1.3 billion market cap for Andy. It's currently sitting at 285 million. Okay. So to take a measured move from right here, if we go up to the second level of fib confluence, is about a 400% move, give or take. Huge gain, right? Huge gain. I've also worked on another scenario here, and I'm going to justify it for you guys with not just some more fib confluence, but actually some pair trading confluence, okay? Now, these are old drawings, so I might have to kind of work with them a little bit here. Let's get rid of this, actually. We don't even need this. We'll just walk through it, okay? So as I mentioned to you guys, if you remember the last set of fibs that I drew, we had our first range or accumulation, and we topped at the 2.618 of our first range. Now, we could view this entire region right here as our first markup with a brief pause before ultimately hitting our all-time high, right? So first accumulation, current all-time high and top. We topped right at the 2.618 of our first range, okay? So now if we view this as number one, range number one, what you notice about trading the same thing over and over again is that it's really just that. You get the same type of patterns and fib levels over and over and over again, all right? So if we view all of this as like our second range, right, one giant range, and we go on to do the same thing that we did the first time around, and we go right to the 2.618, that would be a 10 billion market cap right up in here. So the 2.618 of our current giant accumulation, which is, this whole thing. We'll see how long we're in here. Probably going to break out soon. But the 2.618 is at 10 billion market cap. I do think that that's possible for Andy under the right conditions, and I'm going to back it up with some additional charts. So from here, that would be about a 3,300% move. 30 to 40x potentially. Pretty nice, huh? So remember that 10 billion number. All right, it's important to remember that 10 billion number. All right. So now we're going to move over to Andy Pepe. All right. Andy versus Pepe. Now, what you'll notice about this chart right here is that it's in one giant bull flag. Okay. See the compressions here. See how we marked up over here. And then we held this low, and then we held a higher low, and then we just recently again held another higher low with a lower high and a lower high and a lower high and another lower high. We are in a giant bull flag right here for Andy against Pepe. This looks like it's going to break up to me imminently. Now, we'll rewind just a second. What is this chart? Right? This is Andy divided by Pepe. So what this means is that when this chart is moving up, Andy is outperforming Pepe. When the chart's moving down, Pepe's outperforming Andy. All right. So when this chart breaks up like this and goes probably into price discovery, it's going to be a ripper. You're going to see Andy dramatically outperform that of Pepe, which is exactly what it should do as beta to Pepe, as part of the larger boys club narrative. All right. So anyways, we've established a few things. You're bullish Pepe, therefore you need to consider Andy and Wolf. These are slept on plays. People are starting to catch on, but really you are early on both of these plays. Okay? I showed you the first chart. It had all three. Pepe, Andy, and Wolf. Then we went into Andy USD and I showed you the high time frame fib confluence levels, 1.3 billion, 5 billion, and 10 billion. And we've also established, hey, if we're super bullish on Pepe, look at the Andy Pepe pair chart. It's in a giant reaccumulation bull flag looking like it's about to break out. Okay, so we've established a few important things. Now, let's move on to another chart here. All right. All right. So this is the same chart that we just looked at. All right, this is the same chart that we just looked at. However, I've manipulated the chart to express something a little bit different. This is Andy's market cap, which I had to manually make here on TradingView with an equation up top. You can see it. Andy's market cap divided by Pepe's market cap. Now, my long-term target for Andy has been to basically conquer 10%-ish of whatever Pepe's market cap is at the cycle highs. All right. So let's take a look at it. We're in this giant compression right here. I just showed you this. It's the same looking chart, but it's expressed in market caps. But right now, if you see over here, you can see the value is 0.03. That means that Andy's market cap is 3% of Pepe's. Exactly, right now. And if we look here, if we draw a simple range, right? You have a range high, you have range low, and you have mid-range. The 1.618 of our Andy against Pepe market cap valuation chart is at 11%, right on the money. So let's extrapolate this out a little bit. If Pepe goes to 100 billion market cap, and the Andy Pepe valuation, it all works out where they both peak at the same time, which, by the way, it won't, but it'll be close. And Andy goes to 11%, so times 11% of Pepe's market cap. We'll put that in yellow. That would mean that Andy, equals Andy USD goes to 11 billion market cap. So if you think back to the last chart that I showed you guys, well, two charts ago, where we were talking about Andy USD price targets, it's pretty simple, right? I showed you the amount of fib confluence approaching the 1.618 and the 2.618 of these high time frame ranges that we've been in for months. We got a nice level at 1.3. We got another one at 5 billion, and we got another one at 10 billion. Now, again, Pepe may top at, 100 billion and then pull back to 80 billion, and then Andy against Pepe goes up here. Well, so we might tag this 1.618 when Pepe is already 20% off the current or future all-time high. So then it would be 11% of Pepe's 80 billion market cap. So the timing is something we need to think about a little bit. But if you look at it like this and say, all right, regardless of the timing, there is so much hidden fib confluence in these charts that it's one giant web of interconnectivity. Where I showed you on the Andy USD chart where the most likely high time frame profit taking levels are, and then you jump over to the market cap valuation chart, which nobody talks about, you can see in broad daylight that those USD valuations for Pepe are justified and corroborated by the market cap valuation fib. It's not some giant conspiracy. It's just pair trading, and it's what smart money does to navigate these markets. And I'm sharing it with all of you here today. All right. So again, we're looking up in here, guys. So pretty awesome. Now, it's time to move on to Wolf, the beta of beta. Ow! So, Wolf, having a great day here. I'll erase these. I've got some high time frame fib confluence levels for Wolf as well. I've got a few here, actually. But we're going to do something similar that we did with Wolf that we just did with Andy. Here's our first range. We have range high, we have range low, and we have a confirmed mid-range. Little deviation down there. Look at where Wolf topped. We flipped the 1.618, and we topped perfectly at the 2.618 of our first range. Very nice, right? And now, Wolf is flirting with, it's in price discovery. This, we won't really count the wick. It's basically in price discovery. It made a new all-time high today. It's not going to be long before, we go significantly higher. But what do you notice about this chart here? Our 3.618 is at the exact same level as the 1.618 of this giant range. We have, again, range high, range low, and mid-range. What a coincidence that the 1.618 is perfectly at the 3.618 of our first range. Beautiful set of fib confluence. Now, what kind of percentage move would that be from right here? That'd be roughly 340%. Now, we have some levels even higher than here, all right? And I don't have fib confluence for these levels yet, but I am under no illusions that I think we go far higher than that 1.618 because Wolf has been trading more or less as Andy beta, and I've already shown you that I think Andy can pull a 30 to 50x potentially from its current level. So what are we really talking about here? What I am anticipating is probably a local top around this 1.618, all right? And I'm guessing we'll probably establish like a new range somewhere, right? So maybe we do this or blast through it, and then we put in another range like in here. And then we'll have to draw, and we don't have this data yet. So again, we kind of have to fit a square peg into a round hole. Then I'll probably try to look for, something like this, right? So we'll have another range up in here, and we'll look for another set of fib confluence where, in fact, the 2.618 of this giant range will line up with a new 1.618 of a future range. So we're going to keep an eye out for that as well. Okay, but again, Wolf is very young. We don't have enough data to forecast ultimately where I think it could go. However, I am targeting, perhaps 5 to 7% of Pepe's market cap generally. But all you need to know is we have more data with Pepe and Andy than we do with Wolf. As of right now, Wolf is younger. Okay. But I've shown you that Wolf is trading like beta to not only Pepe, but additionally, there's evidence to suggest that it is in fact trading as beta to Pepe, which is pretty incredible. So you don't really need to worry about high time frame targets yet. Just know that if it's time to be long Pepe and Andy, it's time to be giga long Wolf. I've shown you the correlations. Now, where is something like this going to take place and where could it potentially go? Well, from right here, this could be, again, this makes perfect sense because Andy's 2.618 from its current mega range was about like 3,300%. So if Wolf went up 4,400%, which again is like 40-50x, it would exceed that of the returns from Andy. So it makes perfect sense that we would eventually target and have reason to target this 2.618. But I'm going to be looking for some fib confluence. Like we're going to try to find another range, something up in this vicinity to give me some fib confluence, similarly to what happened with Andy. And then, of course, Wolf again here. The fib confluence is unbelievable, right? Now, let's move over to Wolf against Pepe. All right. This is a pretty incredible chart here. So what we're looking at right here is Wolf divided by Pepe. All right. Wolf divided by Pepe. So what does this mean again? When this chart's moving up, Wolf is a better hold than Pepe. When this chart's moving down, Pepe is a better hold than Wolf. We just divided them against each other, just like we did with Andy. So what am I seeing right here? Well, for one, we're in a giant range right here, right? We are in a giant range. And here I can get rid of the fib because I already have it on there. But what you've been in is this range, right? You have your range high, you have your range low, interaction with a confirmed mid-range, right? Look at all that beautiful interaction where we're currently holding right now. So you've been in this giant range going all the way back to June. And there's a local setup that's happening right now that is very, very interesting to me, okay? So what Wolf was doing over here is that within our giant range, we got stuck under the range high, right? And what a coincidence, right? You can't tell me possibly that these pair charts don't matter. They matter more than the USD charts. Look at the all-time high and how we went 1, 2, 3, 4 stabs at it before ultimately getting rejected for one final shakeout. But what are we seeing right now in this local setup? We had a range, and then we dropped down to our mid-range, took out this wick, swept the liquidity, and we've been ranging and chopping at our current high time frame mid-range. Now, the traders like to call this pattern a PO3, a power of three, where you have a range, a manipulation, or a bear trap. I have it labeled here as deviation, but just know that the intent of this move is to convince people, unsophisticated traders, that somehow their coin has broken down against its alpha and it's not worth holding anymore. Where smart money looks at this and it goes, oh, I know what this is. This is a final shakeout and a bear trap before ultimately breaking higher the other way. And let me show you a prime example of one of the best PO3s that we just set, just to show you how they work, right? So let's just even look at ETH right here, okay? Now look at what ETH just did over here, okay? So just recently, ETH had this giant range. Again, I'm just showing you this to show you how these work, okay? So you had this giant range, and then you had a manipulation or a deviation, okay? And now look at what you're getting. Rapid expansion out of this move. This is a prime example of a PO3. This is exactly what I'm looking for with Wolf against Pepe. And again, I'm only showing you this just to show you how these work, right? Fake breakdown, people sell, market makers get their fill, smart money, basically throws everything they have at it in this discount region, and then you get a reflexive snapback to the opposing side of that range. And that is what I believe is going on with Wolf right now against Pepe, right? So let's extrapolate this out just a little bit. Let's have some fun. So if from this point forward, Wolf goes up to the 1.618, which is 356%, you're potentially looking at a 4 to a 5x, okay? A 4 to a 5x against Pepe, all right? Now, let's really think about that. If Pepe goes up 5x from here, and Wolf goes up 5x against Pepe, then you have to multiply them out, okay? So 5x times 5x is what you could expect for the Wolf USD valuation if we hit this 1.618, okay? So that would be about a 25x-ish, all right? So It's a pretty incredible once in a lifetime setup is what we're seeing right now with Pepe and Andy and Wolf. And my target for Pepe is somewhere between 50 and 100 billion. So if we're targeting 50 to 100 billion in market cap for Pepe, and I've just shown you that I think Andy can go to roughly 10% of Pepe's market cap, and Wolf, this is not a percentage, but at least break out to the 1.618, you're looking at two baby projects that are brand new, part of this larger insulated and solidified narrative, the Boys Club narrative, which I've coined the beta train. Both Andy and Wolf pair trading tremendously well against Pepe being their alpha. I've shown you the USD charts where they all pump together and they all dump together, but the beta pumps more than the alpha as it should. And as you pair trade them, I've got fib confluence across the board showing you how not only are the USD targets valid, but also the Andy Pepe and Wolf Pepe fibs work as additional points of confluence to support the USD valuations. I don't say this in an inflammatory way or a FOMO way. In all of my years of being in financial markets and crypto, I have never discovered more confluence, more synergy, and more of a symbiotic relationship. And in my view, unicorn setup as trading these four meme coins, specifically Pepe, Andy, Wolf, and then Brett, which we didn't talk about here today because it's not on ETH, but super bullish Brett, just to be clear. I think we're staring down a once in a lifetime setup right here. And I've presented you with sort of the surface level overview on how all of these coins sort of work together and why I'm so bullish on all of them, right? So we're just starting to heat up right now. And by the way, at their core, these are all Ethereum tokens. They're all Ethereum beta. So while ETH is starting to pump and perk up here, and seasonally the best months for Ethereum are December through May of the following year, post-halving year. Okay, so December, January, February, March, April, and then May is typically when you get like 4 years of returns for ETH in a matter of a half of a year. At their core, they're all beta to each other, right? But at their core, they are all really beta to Ethereum, and they pump when ETH pumps. So ETH is pumping into what is seasonally the best time to be an Ethereum investor. And I've presented you not only with the best ETH beta being Pepe, Andy, and Wolf, but also the beta and synergy to each other as part of this larger narrative. In my view, this video, this trade, just like some of the other ones I've done when all these coins were babies, these will go down in the history of the crypto. These videos will go down in the history of the crypto books as some of the most prolific trades in meme coins and culture coins that have ever taken place. I can't find more synergy and more interconnectivity in any charts out there. Doesn't matter. I've looked at them all, which is why a majority of my portfolio is in Andy and Wolf and Pepe. Because I don't think we're going to ever see another setup quite like this one. The data is overwhelming. There is so much evidence right now. But anyways, that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for being here. Before you guys go, please consider liking the video and also subscribing if you found some value out of what we just did here today. And last but not least, guys, please consider checking out the links below. BB Terminal is an absolutely awesome product, guys. It's a Swiss Army knife. It's got all of the tools and data that you could ever need or want in order to succeed in these markets. And we custom built it here at BB. We spent about 9 months to about a year actually building this thing from scratch, and we are now in beta so you can actually use it. It's heavily discounted right now, and if you buy the BB terminal, you can also pay in crypto, guys. If you check that out, you can pay in crypto. You're going to get access to our Telegram alerts channel also, but if you really want to take your trading to the next level, guys, check out one of our Discord packages. What you can expect there is 3 hours per day of private live voice calls with me and the entire BB team and community. We have active positions channels, TA channels, things that we don't talk about here on YouTube or on X, guys. There's nothing like it out there. And within the BB Discord, you're going to get free access to the BB terminal included for free. There is not another community out there doing what we're doing, guys. So we continue to reinvest our time and our money into the community, and that's why people love it and they stay. So this market is too big to navigate alone. I encourage you to get out there, find your group. We certainly want to be that group for you. Maybe, it's not what you're looking for. Maybe it's exactly what you're looking for. But my trading has gotten exponentially better. My confidence in these markets has gotten exponentially better when I surrounded myself with the guys on the BB team and the BB community. A bunch of guys, like minded individuals that take it seriously. So definitely consider checking out one of our Discord packages. But if not, join us with BB Terminal plus Telegram. Last but not least, guys, check out the BB Academy. If you like my charting here today and you want to learn all of our tips, tricks, secrets, everything like that, how we cumulatively as a team here at BB have navigated these markets from a technical and fundamental perspective for decades. Check out the BB Academy, guys. I just dropped a free course, How to Make Your Trading View Charts Look Beautiful. Important first step. If you don't know how to look at the data and manipulate the data to be easier to understand, you're going to struggle. So check out that free course. But if you really want to take it to the next level and expedite your journey towards understanding these markets, check out the paid course, guys. There's nothing like it out there. I honestly can say with confidence, it's one of the best courses, if not the best trading courses for all levels, beginner, intermediate, advanced. It covers everything you need to know. So a lot of people out there, myself included, teaching TA for free and FA. But there's a difference between a paid product and a free product, and you guys will see that if you join the BB Academy. It's an absolutely awesome course. But yeah, join us somewhere, guys. Join us in the Discord. Check out BB Terminal. Check out BB Academy. You can pay in crypto now for our services, so major, major benefit. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for being here. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Take care.